she's lost touch with reality. Honestly, from a pastoral perspective, I feel sorry for her. I pray for her. If she has a husband who is present or she's got a pastor who cares, she needs to get an evaluation. And honestly, she needs to take a break because she's become obsessed with Charlie Kirk in a way that is really unhealthy for a married woman. And also, she's tried to make herself the de facto defender and spokesperson for the legacy of Charlie Kirk. And that is the sole discretion of his wife, Erica.
Candace Owens, most recent, really fun debacle with an interview she was.
I just keep hearing Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train in my mind. I feel like everybody's riding that train today.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Sure.
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
Do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like, yeah, bring it out back in February?
Exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that or law enforcement? Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson.
What has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Well, I look forward to seeing evidence of that.
Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to...
So what's the point? Why does she just keep going with what feels like no evidence?
So she's lost touch with reality. And, honestly, from a pastoral perspective, I feel sorry for her. I pray for her. If she has a husband who is present or she's got a pastor who cares, she needs to get an evaluation. And honestly, she needs to take a break because she's become obsessed with Charlie Kirk in a way that is really unhealthy for a married woman. And also, she's tried to make herself the de facto defender and spokesperson for the legacy of Charlie Kirk. And that is the sole discretion of his wife, Erica, who did an incredible job on her interview this week. And she's a really remarkable, incredible, grieving widow. But this is the problem with the internet is the crazier you are, the more attention you get, but the less helpful you are. And so in ministry as a pastor, our goal is always, we're all pastors, like, how do we be the most helpful? And on the internet, it's how do I get the most attention? Well, those are two wildly different things. And things like this, they get a lot of attention, but they don't provide any help whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Does it push you to an extreme, that carrot of attention that always does that? Because, for years, Candace has put out content, and I haven't ever watched tons of her content, but just the drip over the years, it's been good stuff overall. Okay, so this is a newer Candace that's just wild conspiratorial conjecture without any hard evidence, correct? Something's happened recently, right?
Yeah, as a pastor, if this was somebody, let me just ask you this. If this person was attending your church as a pastor, what would your encouragement be to this married couple?
Yeah, immediately unplug from all this stuff. Let's take a retreat. Let's unplug. Yeah, it'd be that. It'd be that. This is overtaken. Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes conspiratorial in a way that really you're living a fear-based paranoid life.
Yeah.
When you reach the point where you're like, the guy who killed Charlie didn't kill Charlie, and I have sources from the feds. And I think she says, I counted 3 times in that short clip, you're at a point where you've sort of lost touch with reality.
Right.
And when people live online and they live in conspiracy theories and they live in chats and comments, eventually those people start to develop mental health problems, and there's a break from reality. And what we're seeing here, I mean, I hope we're not seeing this, but I think what we're seeing is literally the implosion of a human being online. This is like watching a car wreck in slow motion.
Well, I don't like this. I do sympathize with, I don't have trust for a lot of our institutions of power and
media.
So she's scratching an itch that I share as well, but this looks crazy.
But when Erica Kirk says, she said in the interview that she did with Jesse Waters that she's confident that Tyler Robinson was the killer of her husband. Yeah. Well, let's let her be the authority on that. She said, I've seen all the evidence and, one minute misquote, but like if someone is killed, the person who has the authority on that assassination is the wife.
And how confident would you have to be to turn your son in that he was the assassin? Tyler Robinson's dad turned him in, probably for a death penalty.
Well, and is a Mormon youth pastor, who I think also was somehow connected to law enforcement. And so
a dad's not going to live into a government conspiracy and turn his son in.
And his dad's a cop, right?
He was,
Was, okay.
And this is it too, like let it play out in the courts, let the evidence be presented, let things run their course. But this is the doubling down, and this is where at the end of the day, let me ask you this, Pastor John. What would be better use of your time as a human being than following this in great detail?
Man, insert almost anything. I mean, we're embroiled in a terrible culture war of we're losing trust in all of our institutions of power. Families are being utterly destroyed. Of like you could throw a dart blindfolded and hit something that would be more edifying than this. I don't see any benefit to this. And now, if there was truth to it, present your hard evidence in total. Present it, not I have my leaks, I have my sources, and trust me, and here's my, like, I think, give us hard evidence right here. Back it up. If you have it, deliver it, and if you don't, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So
you alluded to a minute ago, you live in a world, I mean, you're in the gun world, and you are far right conservative. You're not crazy far right, but I'm sure you have a lot of dealings with a lot of very far right people that are looking for the conspiracies. How does a Christian father discern that for their family in this time? What to believe, what not to believe? Where do you get your source of truth? How are you leading through that?
It's good. In terms of where I am on spectrum of left, right, or far, I really love America. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a patriot. I love Bible. I love family. And a lot of people, they want to label you by saying you're far right. You're a crazy over here. I'm like, I love family. I believe in our Constitution, Declaration of Independence. That's it. Nothing insane. Nothing that's going to get huge clicks on Instagram. I love Bible, and that's my standard of truth right there. And so I would like people to stop being crazy all the time, practice a little bit of discernment. Let's suspend judgment before we tribalistically all jump on bandwagons, which is what's happening. It's a thing happens. Immediately choose your side. Whose side are you on? Go all in. And now
double down in spite of the evidence.
That's right. And now it's confirmation bias. No matter what you see, you're going to see it through the lens of what you've already pre-established in your snap judgment that happened the moment the headline broke. Nobody's reading deeply. No one's saying, well, let's see where the investigation goes. And so that is a real big problem, because that means we're tribalistically ready to grab pitchforks and torches, pick at anybody that happens to land a little bit outside of our tribe, and it just continues to snowball until it breaks all alliance, all trust, all fellowship, and it's a race to the bottom. It's just going to be the utter destruction of everything, while you get huge views.
Yeah. Well, and in that too, if you are a Christian or claim to be a Christian, you've got to think about things like Jesus says that Satan is the father of lies. It's like, am I intentionally frequently lying? Then that would be bad. Jesus says that we'll be judged for every word we speak. If you claim Christ, you've at least got to begin, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, with some fear of the Lord,
Hmm.
that it doesn't matter what the clicks are and it doesn't matter what the platform, rewards. It matters if I'm claiming Christ, that I'm trying to conduct myself in a way that is truthful, knowing that I'm going to stand before him and give an account for all of the content that I'm disseminating.
Right.
And so to me, there's just a practical point where, yeah, we don't trust those who are traditional legacy media, rightly and understandably so. But if someone claims to be a Christian, they should at least be making an attempt to act or live functionally as a Christian.
No, that's good.
And just wild speculation and untruths and lies, there's nothing in the Bible that supports that. There's nothing in the Christian life that would promote that.
If she's got hard evidence, I'd like to see it. And I'm open to reason. Show it to me, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And if not, this is not helpful. This is destroying. This is harmful.
It feels like an attack really on the right because there's becoming so many divisions in the right.
Yeah.
And you said that when you're losing, everyone's unified, but when you're winning, all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's factions of the right. And
it's tribalism. It's tribal chiefs and tribes. And it's like, there's Tucker Carlson, there's Candace Owens, there's, Steve Dace is a friend of mine and I appreciate him. There's Glenn Beck. There's different people who have different tribes. And some are far better at telling the truth and being consistent and living within their Christian convictions, and others are wildly out of bounds.
Where do you see us being in a few years with where the right? I mean, Charlie was really a unifier here. We've lost Charlie. Put a few years on the clock until the next election. Where will the right be?
Well, right now it seems to be reading The Lord of the Flies and thinking that's a good playbook. And so what you've got is tribes that are now fighting over market share, meaning they've lost sight of the nation and the good of the whole. And again, like we talked about offline, Lennon, like when you're the minority, you hold together. So like right now with the election in New York, like everybody who was not a Republican hung together. As soon as you're in power, it's really hard to maintain humility and unity.
Yeah.
And this is just the default of human nature, is just to steal, kill, and destroy. I mean, that's just the default of the flesh. And so what I'm seeing right now, even among younger, people on the right, my concern is always this: are you a conservative who says you're a Christian, or are you a Christian who has your convictions push you toward conservatism? And there's a big difference, because if it's Christ and then your political convictions, conservatism, then you have a fear of God. You're under authority. You're submitting to scriptures. You're submitting to right spiritual authority, which is going to keep you from being really dangerous.
Yeah.
If you are a conservative and just name Christ, but there's really no authority over you, no fear of God, no respect of scripture, no participation in a local church community, no honoring of any spiritual authority, I think you're very, very, very dangerous.
Right.
And I think that's where you're starting to see those who are very, very conservative claiming Christ. You wonder if they actually know Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something. When I see somebody who's a conservative, should be home team, and they claim Christ, and they have the agenda of Christ, so to speak, but they don't really have the fruits of the Spirit. And so one thing that irritates me about Candace Owens is she is converted to Christianity, she claims, but every time I see her, if you just pause the screen at any moment, she has this look of just disgust, this contempt. And I'm like, there's not a huge talking point there. I'm just saying of like, I would like us to grow to have the love, gentleness, kindness, goodness. I would like the Spirit of Christ as well to couple with our agenda. And when I don't see the fruits of the Spirit with somebody who is espousing the agenda of Christ, I grow a little concerned. I'm like, where are you going to be? Because when I like to, I've got a bunch of different people that I'll listen to. And I don't need to agree completely with everyone I listen to. A lot of people today were so tribalistic in mentality of like, oh, I like Mark Driscoll until you said that one thing, and now you're dead to me. I'm canceling you. I'm never listening to you. I'm going to take to the internet. And if you find one thing someone doesn't like,
that's just a hypothetical.
it's just a hypothetical. And it's never happened.
You told me right before the show, you agree with everything you've ever said.
I don't agree. I had somebody come to me recently, and they said, I don't agree with everything you've ever said. It's like, I don't agree with everything I've ever said.
We sent mugs to his house because he's like, I don't agree with most things I've said, or a lot of what I've said, or something.
It's like, how can we possibly have any rapport, any unity if the litmus test is I need to agree with everything you say, and if not, I'm going to unsubscribe, trash you, of like,
If that's your MO, you cannot be married.
yeah, that's right. That's right. But what I'm seeing now is I'm pretty good, I think, at listening to a whole bunch of voices and a lot of different opinions. And I can like, oh, I like that. I don't like that. And it's a bit of a buffet, but I don't get viscerally
But
upset.
that's discernment.
Right. But now a lot of our influencers I'm seeing is they're going to these extremes where I'm like, I can't follow you there, man. I got to unfollow. And I'm not the unfollow guy.
What would be an extreme?
I'm pretty, I love Tucker Carlson historically, but of like Nick Fuentes stuff and celebrating Stalin. And I'm like, that's where I don't like that Tucker gave him that right hand of fellowship. And man, I'm up to even right this moment, I still am a member of his network. And I'm like, do I turn that off? Of like, I really don't like, where is Tucker going?
Yeah.
I don't need all of his opinions. I don't have to approve all of his guests. He does his thing. It's a bit of a buffet, but if he's going to exalt someone like that, I've got a problem.
So I have a problem with evil.
Yeah.
And a profoundly racist human being that has done nothing is evil.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, you have to call evil evil if you want to maintain any dignity and you want to have any respectability.
Yeah.
And so, to me, like racism at that level is evil. And I'm talking, just the overt statements of Nick Fuentes. I mean, it's racist. It's evil. It's ungodly.
Right.
It's wrong. It's dangerous. And it is not to be, softly handled and promoted.
Yeah.
Not if you claim Christ. And again, if you don't know Christ, I don't expect as much from you. But for those who claim Christ, the expectation has to be higher.
Yeah.
So both of you have sons that you've launched your sons. You are raising sons. It feels like the world of nuance is starting to go out the window. It's like you said, you're taking from this, that, but it's harder with how extreme people are getting. What would be the advice both of you would give to your one piece of advice on discerning this culture and who to listen to?
Oh, people won't like mine. You want to go first?
Yeah. So, Paul says, just seek to live a quiet life and stay busy with your hands. Yeah. And, there so much of what is information is distraction. Like, find your girl, marry her. Find your house, purchase it. Have your kids, raise them. Join your church, serve there. Keep yourself busy with your first responsibilities. A lot of what we get worked about, we have no jurisdiction over.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things you can get upset about. Like, is there anything you can do about it? No, then take that energy and put it toward the people and things that God gives you responsibility for. And I would say, especially for young men who get into the political sphere and older men who get into the political sphere, it's like, turn your phone off, pick up your Bible, go play with your kids, go play with your grandkids, go make somebody else's life better. Do some things, not just react to some things.
Yeah, I love it. All right, John.
I'm introducing my kids to the world.
Yes.
I'm letting them know I'm not hiding them under a rock. I'm the one introducing them to all this stuff. And so the stuff that's happening, even a lot of the grotesque stuff, all the rainbow flag agenda, I'm letting my 11 and 13-year-old know what's out there, how we respond to that, how we filter through it. But the thing I'm not doing is giving them phones with high-speed internet access so that they can tackle all the world's issues and all the world's perversions. Like, they could log on anywhere. They could log into Christianity Today and have unbridled access. Do you know how perverted it's becoming? Cue the opening shot that we had for this show today. Of like, there's all kinds of really grotesque stuff out there, and kids are not meant to process the horrors of the world. The moment you hand a child a cell phone, their childhood is over. The moment you hand a kid a phone, their childhood is over. And you get to decide when that is. You want to do it at 9? You want to do it at 12? You get to decide. And so My 11 and 13-year-old, we have a happy home and a refuge. We sing worship songs as a family, and
You
we
play guitar.
I started
I'm
guitar.
outing
You
you.
hypothetically try to play guitar.
I put that. This is discerning and fair, but
Yes.
about a year ago, I started. Well, I suck at singing. I do want to lead my family in worship. What can I do? I could do guitar. I'm like, I can't do a guitar. I'm like, I will learn guitar for my family, and so we have a great time, and we do that, and we read books, and we have lots of fires, and we go for walks, and we go for rides, and we have a blast of game nights and making food and all kinds of fun stuff. And it's good, happy stuff. I engage in the war of ideas out there as a man. And then I come home to my refuge where my kids are able to be safe, and I educate them about it, because one day they're going to need to be strong enough to contend in the battlefield of ideas. And that's not now, that's later. So you spend all this time to make them strong, prepare them, and don't let them get taken out by all these pernicious ideologies that will crush your kids before they even get in the fight. You wouldn't send a dude off the street straight to war. You'd send him to basic training and AIT and wherever else you wanted to go to get him trained up, so that you don't immediately throw them into combat and they die because they have no training. Similarly, our kids are growing up, and before they're men, I want them trained and strengthened so that they can interact in a dangerous world.
So good. So good. Thank you.
And you mean mine, not Pastor Mark's?
Pastor
here?
Mark's was great.
His was okay,
You're
but mine
a little
was
intense.
I get intense. It's like people
We're
camping.
waking up. We're drinking our
Yeah.
coffee. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I had all the grandkids last night, so I still have the grandkid hangover. They run you hard for about 5 hours.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're a great granddad.
Working.
It's so fun to see you interact with grandkids. It'd be shocking for a lot of your critics to see you down on the floor playing with grandkids, and
Ooh.
it's super
My
fun.
best
Super
friend for
fun.
toddlers.
It's so great. It's so great. Y'all understand each other.
We do. We like the same shit.
hey, Indy is an intellectual.
Thanks for watching this video. It's a great honor to help you learn the Bible. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I promise you there'll be more to come.